Does the engine work and does the gearbox work? When you're buying a car for this level of money, you've got to buy it with your eyes. And if you remember these simple things, then you'll be on to a winner. You're looking a little hot under the collar there, Richard. You worried you backed the losing ticket?
Find out after the break who's in the winning seat for our 400-mile trip.
Visit www.4car.co.uk if you fancy a motor for £500 and check out our 10-point guide to buying a VW Corrado.
This is my little island. When I was small, it seemed so big.
Talk about something else, OK? This being a car programme, let's talk about houses. How many times have you been told by somebody, oh, I've made a fortune on my house? Well, that's rubbish, because everybody's houses are going up at the same rate. The only way to make money on a house is to buy it somewhere that's bad, that then becomes good. Fine. How can you do that with a car? What you need is a car that's not yet a classic, but that one day will be. A kind of classic waiting in the wings, if you will. And this scheme has the whiff of genius about it. What you're looking for is a car that's young enough to still be good to drive and reliable, but old enough to have been forgotten. A car like this, the Volkswagen Corrado VR6. This was VW's sports coupe for the 90s, and I think it's really rather special, even though under the skin, it's a bit of a mongrel. It's been kind of cobbled together from bits of old VWs, so we've got Passat in the rear suspension and a bit of Mark II Golf at the front. But they knew what they were doing. The result is fantastic. This drives as well as, if not better, than a lot of current cars, and I mean that, it really does. And remember, we're talking about a car that went out of production 8 years ago. And it's quick. Like, properly quick. 0 to 60 it'll do in 6.7 seconds. Well, that's quick today. That 2.9-litre V6 up front, 190 brake horsepower it puts out. It sounds fantastic. There were other versions available, but this is the one to go for, because that VR6 engine is one of the best VW ever made. So its looks and its performance go some way towards making it a future classic. But there is another factor that's even more important. It was a complete flop. It was too expensive and nobody bought it, which means it's quite rare. And there's one more thing. It's the only 90s coupe that isn't completely embarrassing. I mean, think about it. Just what message are you sending the world when you're seen climbing out of a Calibra or a Probe or even a Celica? Not good. My second tip comes from the 1980s. It's this. The Mercedes 190e 2.5 16. Quite a mouthful, and that's not even the full title, because you've got to strap Cosworth onto the end of that, because Cosworth helped develop the engine. And that gives a clue as to what this car's about. Of course, every potential classic should have a good story attached to it, and that's the case with this Mercedes, because we got this car by default. Basically, Mercedes developed the 190e 2.5 16 Cosworth to go rallying, but just as they were ready to launch it onto the rally scene, Audi brought out the Quattro, and that changed everything. Without four-wheel drive, the Mercedes would have been absolutely hopeless. So they abandoned their plans to go rallying and decided to produce this road